Don't promise me a good time. Don't promise me a laugh. Come on. This world is crazy enough as it is, but I found a clip that's pure gold. Not one, but two clips. Now, we're going to talk about our good friend, Donald Trump. Donald Trump, yes, the guy who triggers liberals. So many people panicking. He's Hitler 2.0. Trump supporters. Oh, no. Look, it should come as no surprise to you liberals that Donald Trump was going to run again. I knew he was going to do it. So there you go. And sadly, whether you like it or not, he has cemented his name forever in human history. He's immortal. But for some reason, CNN, Rachel Maddow, and yes, even Joy Behar from The View are so afraid of Trump and his supporters. Rachel Maddow and Joy Behar were recently speaking to one another. Rachel Maddow from BSDNC was on The View. And apparently Joy Behar says, oh no, they're so afraid of Trump that he might kick them off the air. Listen, Joy, you're not that special. Rachel, you're not that special. You're not going to go to a political camp. He's not going to cancel you. You want to know why? Because Donald Trump is a master of the media. This is true. This isn't an endorsement of it, but I'm stating a real fact here. He likes to be talked about. He's been doing this for decades. He's not going to kick you off the air. You ain't going anywhere. You're not going anywhere. That's not going to happen. You're not that special. Yes, you're a multimillionaire. Yes, you have a popular show for brain dead liberals to watch because they're so afraid of Trump. But you're not getting canceled. You're not going to go bye-bye. You're staying. But yet they want to project fear that somehow the United States is going to become this great dictatorship. Well, no. But listen, you don't have to believe me. Do you want to see? Here's the thing. Vote blue no matter who, liberals, all you big pundits that got Trump derangement syndrome. To quote Logan Roy from Succession, I love you, but you are not serious people. So let's go ahead and watch someone make it about themselves. Joy, floor is yours. Take it away.
So you said recently that you thought that you, as an outspoken critic, could be a target yourself.
No, she's not. Okay? I mean, seriously, Maddow, you're not that special. None of you are. Oh, no, Trump's going to come after us. Well, guess what, audience? If by that logic, oh, no, Donald Trump is going to be knocking at your door. How are you going to respond if Donald Trump knocks at your door and says hello? You could type 1 for say, tell him to F off. Type 2, hey, you're in the wrong neighborhood, buddy. Or type 3, hey, come on in. I'm going to go with option 3. If Trump's going to be knocking at my door, come on in, buddy. I'll bring you some coffee. We're going to have a talk. I want to talk about how you're going to pardon first name Julian, last name Assange.
Some people think that sounds overdramatic, but I'm right there with you. I think that he is so vindictive that he will go after, however he has to, through the IRS maybe, or even through sponsors to get us off the air maybe, or you. Yeah. How seriously should we be taking that?
Not seriously at all. You guys are brain dead. Vote blue no matter who. Liberals who are afraid of your own shadow. All right. Donald Trump likes to be talked about. He likes to be talked about. If you're gone, he loses his power. See, Donald Trump isn't anything new. When you watch this clip, here's the thing. All of you have dealt with a Donald Trump in your lifetime. Now, Trump has mastered the media, be it radio, television, cable news, the newspapers, and the internet, specifically the internet. Because the more people talk about him, the more relevant he is. You really want to hurt somebody, don't talk about them. Ignore them, dismiss them, make them a pariah. But the media can't do it because Donald Trump's got them playing by his tune. Rachel, Maddow, Joy, Bear, and everyone else that's vote blue no matter who, it's not about you because you ain't going anywhere.
Well, so I was asked, am I worried about me? And my answer was, I'm worried about all of us. I'm no more worried about me than I am worried about everybody in the country. I think it's bad to have somebody saying, give me as much power as you can in this country so I can use it to go after other Americans. So I can use it to go after these subhuman internal enemies. And
Why did you use those words? See, a lot of liberals are projecting. Okay? Look, I'm not a fan of Donald Trump, but I'm not a fan of Biden or the Democrats either. But I've noticed a lot of these diehard liberal Democrats are really projecting because you want to know why? Donald Trump brings out the worst of them. It makes them really get triggered and become emotionally stunted people. They're afraid. They've always been afraid. And everyone's calling them out on their BS. Why do you think there's a lack of enthusiasm for the Democratic primary? Gee, Rachel, you're saying like, oh, Trump's going to go after every single American, deem them subhuman. Why'd you use those words? Is that something Donald Trump has said? I haven't heard him say that. Have you heard Donald Trump do all this kind of stuff? Like, Trump has said a lot of things, but Trump is a guy that says anything he wants because that's how he gets his name in the newspapers. If you're shocked by this and you're not paying attention,
I'll destroy them.
Like,
let's rewind that again.
Somebody saying, give me as much power as you can in this country so I can use it to go after other Americans. So I can use it to go after these subhuman internal enemies and I'll destroy them. Like, that's just not a good system for anybody. And I don't think anybody's safe if that's the sort of basis on which he wants to get more power.
Remember when Nixon had an enemies list? That was a proud moment for a lot of people if they were on the enemies list. Maybe we need to turn it around like that.
First of all, yes, Nixon had an enemy list. But what are you worried about? The political police for Joy Behar. They're not going to put you in a camp. Grow up. Don't make it about yourself. These are not serious people. The fact that in 2020, a lot of these vote blue, no matter who people really bullied a lot of progressives and independents to vote for Biden. Folks, hey, everyone's got to take an L. Hell, I believed in Bernie Sanders' campaign. I got to carry that L. But folks, don't let these liberals bully you. These people aren't serious. They're projecting. And if you're on the fence about, oh, Trump or Biden, don't be. Everything's going to be fine. If you choose to vote, perfect. Vote however which way you want. I'm not endorsing a single candidate. And if you don't want to vote, go ahead. Or you could do what I'm going to do. I'm going to vote independent third party. That's what I'm going to do. And then after I vote, I'm going to get a nice ribeye steak and some other accoutrements, all the other good stuff, and cook a nice meal. Once you vote or choose not to vote, no matter what happens on election night, it is out of your control. And yet these liberals are panicking and projecting their fear upon you, causing extra stress. Be their Huckleberry, live rent-free in their head, and watch these people melt down. They are not serious. You can bully them back, as you should.
Well, I think that if he decides that he's going to go after you or me or anybody who's well-known, we have resources, we'll likely be fine. But I think...
Yes, because you're rich. You're rich. You got that money, that cash. You're going to be fine. Everything's going to be okay. But then what? You think Donald Trump's going to have to go after some poor average American? Yeah, Trump's going to come knocking on my door. I hear you, Kit Kat. You got host of Hard Lens Media. You say some nice things. You say some mean things. You're calling yourself a king. We had a revolution. I don't know if you noticed or not. But, it's not good. It's not great. But maybe tone it down a little. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Trump. I'm sorry. Grow up. Guess what, everyone? Trump's not going to come knocking on your door. And if he does, invite him in for some tea. Look, I understand why so many people are triggered by Trump, but he's not the worst of the worst. We've got politicians and scumbag lobbyists in Washington, D.C. that are far more vile than that man. Far more brutal. At least Trump is up front with his BS. He's probably the most authentic and, dare I say it, most open president in U.S. history. Why are we in Syria? To get the oil. That's it. Get the resources. The most honest moment. Hell, dare I say it, he was honest for his first Republican primary debate in 2016. I don't know if you remember it when money and politics was brought up. I give these people money and they do what I say. Honest moment. Even at Dave Chappelle skit on SNL about when Trump and Hillary Clinton were debating each other and how he wasn't paying his taxes. And he says, like, yeah, the whole system's rigged. You want to know why? Because I've used it. He's used it. He told you it's rigged. Did us all a favor, but yet all liberals want to say, he's Hitler. Let's rewind this again.
For anybody.
Rachel, tell us again why you're safe.
Internal enemies and I'll destroy them.
Yeah.
Like, that's just not a good system for anybody. And I don't think anybody's safe if that's the sort of basis on which he wants to get more power.
Remember when Nixon had an enemies list? That was a proud moment for a lot of people if they were on the enemies list. Maybe we need to turn it around like that.
Well, I think that if he decides that he's going to go after you or me or anybody who's well known, we have resources. We'll likely be fine. But I think there's a pattern where he picks out individual people and effectively terrorizes them.
But
I mean, there's Stormy Daniels wearing a bulletproof vest to get in.
Oh, God. I don't care about Stormy Daniels. All right. I don't care. So he paid hush money to an adult film actress. We have politicians who've done worse. Not to mention, did she get paid? Clown world. And people say, but didn't Trump betray his wedding vows? I don't care. That's between Trump and his wife. I don't care. That's between Trump and his family. Who cares? Do any of you really care? We've had listen. We have politicians and actors and CEOs that are on that good old little book of first name Jeffrey, last name E. But hold on, it gets even better, folks, because here's CNN, a respectable news network, because CNN is always to be respected, right? Well, apparently CNN gets triggered because Trump supporters call the United States a constitutional republic, which is what we are. We are a constitutional republic. Here. No. Wait. CNN, here it is from Citizen Free Press. CNN is triggered by Trump supporters calling our government a constitutional republic, even though our founders confirmed it. Yes, we are. I sometimes use the word democracy, republic, but in all reality, we are. The United States is a constitutional republic. Are you shocked? Again, corporate media, liberals, the vote blue no matter who crowd. I love you. And I truly do mean that. I say it with the bottom of my heart. I love you, but you are not serious people.
President Biden touts his re-election campaign as a fight to preserve democracy. But if you ask some Trump supporters, the former president is not a threat to democracy because the United States is not a democracy. CNN's Donnie O'Sullivan spoke to some of those supporters.
What happens if Trump loses?
I don't see him losing.
I don't think he lost the last election, to be honest.
Do you think he's going to win?
Yes. Without a doubt.
No doubt.
What if he doesn't this time? What happens to the country?
We're done. We're done. If Biden talks about democracy, saving democracy, they're the ones that are killing democracy.
Obviously, there's a lot of criticisms of Trump that he is bad.
Now they're adding in this little tense music in the background, trying to portray Trump supporters as these, horrible people. Look, all right. The reason why Trump has such an active political base is he kept his organization and his people together. That's politics 101. Keep your movement alive. Keep your base happy. That's what you're supposed to do. And he's got a loyal following. I'm not surprised people are turning out to support for Trump. What? CNN, get serious.
For democracy, that he's bad for American democracy.
We are a republic.
We're a republic.
We are
We're
not a
representative
democracy.
republic. We're not a democracy.
One thing we've been hearing at Trump rallies like this over the past few months is that America isn't really a democracy.
Yeah, hell, I think the Trump supporters are being genuine. By technically, we are a constitutional republic, but we are an oligarchy. Okay, your politicians don't represent you unless you got billions of dollars. If you got that money, you're a donor, not a voter. So that means you're one step above. Service guarantees citizenship. Money guarantees a vote.
America's not a democracy, it's a republic.
It's not a democracy. Okay, democracy is actually not as good as you think it is.
But for centuries, America has celebrated its democracy.
Oh, yes. The idea, the Disney fairy tale.
Democracy is worth dying for. Democracy remains the definition of political legitimacy.
But some Republicans and pro-Trump media are pushing the idea that America is not a democracy.
The United States of America is not a democracy. We are a constitutional republic.
The United States of America is not a democracy. You don't want to be in a democracy.
We are not a democracy. We are a republic.
Is America a democracy?
America is a democracy. It was founded as a democracy.
It's a constitutional republic that practices democratic values or practices and all this other stuff, right? All right. Now, here's the thing. A true direct democracy, everybody has a say. You think the elites want to hear from the people? You really think the people on top of the pyramid want to listen to everybody down below? No. That means there's no money to be made, no regime change wars, and no corporate bailouts.
I've heard a lot of conspiracy theories. I hear a lot of things out on the road. But to hear Americans, people who would describe themselves as patriots, say that America is not a democracy, that stopped me in my tracks.
You are hearing people say America is not a democracy because there are people around Trump who want them to be saying that, who've been planting that narrative.
Is America a democracy?
Yes.
No, I don't. I think
Well, not
we're
right
a
now,
republic.
but we're a republic.
What's the difference?
I feel like democracy. I think that's true. That it's government control. I don't see freedom in democracy. I see freedom in the republic.
Here, let's go over this, the big book of words called a dictionary. And hold on. Actually, I do have a dictionary up there, but we're going to use the computer definition. A constitutional republic is a state where the chief executive and representatives are elected and the rules are set down in a written constitution. So there we go. That is a constitutional republic. Okay. Going further again, a republic again. It traces its all the way back to antiquity, the hallowed days of antiquity. A republic is basically when people, when a representation in a republic may not be freely elected by the general citizenry. Yes, that can happen too in a republic where people are put into power and they might not be elected in, because that is a situation. But there are, again, that is what we are. Now, as for a democracy, what is a democracy? Because democracy is so important. What is democracy? So let's go ahead and check that out. Democracy, a system of government by the whole population or are eligible members of the state, typically through elected representatives. So that's a democracy. So there you go. It provides an environment that respects human rights, debatable here, and also guarantees freedom and liberty, debatable. But we are a republic. But I just like how, again, the CNN videos just sort of like portraying these people as, well, blind or being misdirected or being turned into a cult worshiping Trump. CNN, you're no better. Why do you think your views have been slipping for so long?
Honestly, the word democracy and the word republic have often been used interchangeably. There isn't a meaningful difference between them.
So much of the warnings and criticism about Trump is that he is a threat to democracy, that he is anti-democratic.
Absolutely. If they can convince people that we don't have a democracy, then it's okay that Trump is attacking democracy because it doesn't really matter.
So why has democracy?
Nobody is okay with that. And again, how much is CNN editing out? How much is on the cutting room floor?
Become a bad word.
Because it's being used in a way to change the flavor of our country, which is a republic.
These words were used in different ways in the 18th century, and it's true the founders didn't want direct democracy, by which they meant people gathering on the town square. They wanted representative democracy. But I think the reason why this conversation about language has risen now is because there is a part of the Republican Party that would like to rule as a minority, and they need an excuse for why that's okay.
Hey, lady, since you're giving out a history lesson, did you know that in the early days of our fair republic, I know, controversial word there, the only way you could vote is if you were white, a male, and a landowner. They're very democratic. Like, a lot of people had to fight to earn their vote in this republic, okay? Women, Black people, Native Americans, everybody. across the spectrum. Okay? So it wasn't all rainbows and sunshines after good old GW and his fantastic 13 colonial friends took on the British crown. See, that's what I mean. CNN is not filled with CNN, corporate media. These liberals are not serious people. Don't let them bully you. Don't let them push you around. You're better than this. All of you. You really are better than this.
And so they have begun to say, we're not a democracy, we're a republic. And it's not 100% clear what that means, but I think they mean we want Donald Trump to be able to do whatever he wants.
Some people I've been speaking to at Trump events recently have been saying America is not a democracy, it's a republic.
We've always been a democracy. First of all, I mean, we used to have freedom of speech, freedom of religion. We used to have that too. Now they're picking on the Christians and the Jewish people. I mean, how much more can we take?
Are you concerned if Trump loses?
Yeah.
That there'll be another January 6th?
Oh, God. Enough of the Civil War crap. Listen, hold on. A off chance all 300 plus beautiful Americans see this video. Listen, your enemy isn't your neighbor. Your enemy is not the person on the street. Your enemy is not the homeless person. Your enemy is not your coworker. Your enemy is not your family members who you have disagreements at Thanksgiving. Your enemy isn't. Your enemy exists. They are real. They live in Washington, D.C. They're scumbag politicians that are bought and owned by corporate oligarchs. Don't be stupid and fight in the front lines for these jag-off politicians because they tell you to, or they want you to be afraid of your neighbors or your fellow Americans. Don't be stupid. Don't fall for that trick. Don't fall for it. Oh, Civil War, Civil War, Civil War. Who do you think we'll be shooting at, huh? The real threat are the people in the suits and ties who got to be voted out of office. We got to do citizen ballot initiatives. We have to start building movements and organizations not connected to Washington, D.C., so we could subvert around these politicians and actually, I don't know, get our rights back. Oh, I want to fight for a politician. Said nobody ever. And if somebody does say that, and I don't care whether they're Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, Green, you hear one of those people or anybody saying, I'll fight for a politician, they're not serious. They're brain dead. They're lost. Try and unplug them from the propaganda. I'll stick my neck out for my representative. No, you should not. I'll fight for my political party. Really? Same political party that's been screwing you over?
No, I think there will be a civil war. That's what I think will happen.
Civil War, Civil War, Civil War. You know, the Romans went through a lot of civil wars. How'd that work out for them?
Omar, look, there is, of course, a legitimate debate, discussion to be had on what form of democracy we have here in the United States. Direct democracy, representative democracy, in fact, constitutional republic, which you heard people mention in that piece, that is a form of democracy. But look, this is not actually a debate about government, about democracy. It's an attack on democracy.
What do you think is fueling all this madness and insanity? Corporate media. They're planting that bug in people's heads of civil war. You know, just an idea, you know, when you hear people like Rachel Maddow or Joy saying, oh, they're going to come after us. Or you got CNN saying, oh, these Trump supporters don't believe in democracy. And they're talking about civil war, civil war, civil war. You know, I want to have hope that most Americans won't fall for that propaganda. But sadly, I've been proven incorrect where people do fall for propaganda. Let's say something like that happens, right, in this country. You do realize that we'll never recover again. That if they could convince us to fight each other once, they could do it again and again and again and again while the elites get richer. They watch and laugh at us kill each other. You want that to happen? Because if that happens, if they successfully get Americans to fight each other, we're not coming back. We're not ever going to recover again. And here's something else. The dead stay dead. And vengeance and hate forever flows, okay? So don't, my fellow Americans, don't let corporate media trick you. Don't let these politicians trick you. They're not worth fighting for. They're you know what's really worth it? Standing up to them and saying, I will not kill my brother. I will not fight my sister. I'll stand as one. And in the minute we all stand as one, Jesus Christ, what a bonding moment that will be for this country. Don't let the propaganda hypnotize you.
People have heard the warnings that Trump is a danger to democracy, and therefore you have people trying to convince others that, well, the United States isn't a democracy in the first place, and therefore Trump can't be a threat. Homer?
Donnie, appreciate the reporting as always insightful.
Yes, always insightful. Ready to incite further hatred, anger, and people like Joy, people like Rachel Maddow, CNN, MSNBC, all these liberals and vote blue no matter who people then want to convince you that Biden, old man Biden, is our savior. How's that working out for you? Is that a good thing? Is that something you like? We're better than this. Stand against the propaganda. Don't fall for the trap. I don't know how this election will play out, but no matter who wins, be it Trump or Biden, or hey, who knows, maybe a third party. Crazy things have happened before. No matter who wins, remember this, my lovelies, whether you're Republican or Democrat, Green or Libertarian, Independent, and hell, if you're not going to vote, listen to me very carefully. No matter who wins, the donors will always supersede you, the voters. And you think these rich people care about you after the election day? No. You think these rich people care about how you're feeling after election night? No. But you want to know what's going to make them care? Is after this election night, we still keep on fighting. Not for them, because they're not worth fighting for, but for ourselves and the next generation. Wouldn't that be a sight instead of civil war? We stand up as one and say no more to them. It would be a sight to see. I just hope that people don't fall for the trick of civil war, civil war, civil war. Because then we'll never recover. And then that's a downward spiral.